And we'll do that, and now you should be able to hear me. Yeah, that was not just you, that was everyone. I didn't push a button. So many buttons to start streams and go and whatever else is going on. Let's turn the gain down on that a little bit because that's a bit loud. And yeah, because I've got like a thing here that controls sound and another thing here that controls OBS, and it's all just blah. So yes, anyway, as I was saying, quietly with nobody able to hear me, yes, no, and now someone's tweeting at me and saying can't hear. Yeah, if you're here and you're watching and you can because you've got a Twitch account, then shout out in the chat. Let me know who you are, where you are, what you've been up to, how your day's going, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, let's just chat while we're working on stuff. And we are working on Stream Badger, which is my thing that I'm making. That hooks into OBS and lets you display images over the top of the stream, and you can play sounds as well, and there's an applause sound and it's too loud, and so we're going to try and fix that, but it's all done in Blazor, and it started out as just a Blazor web application, and you would run it and then it would just open the browser, and then I thought, no, this should be like a packaged desktop application, and so then I started mucking about something called Photino, but then that didn't work with Blazor's input file control. And then on Tuesday last week, I want to say Tuesday last week, Microsoft released .NET 6 Preview 4, which has got MAUI in it, the MAUI, multi-platform application user interface library, which is the thing that's replacing Xamarin, but where Xamarin was kind of iOS and Android, and I think it did Mac and stuff. What Microsoft are doing now is they're wrapping Windows and Mac and iOS and Android all up as one thing. So you create one application, and it runs on all the different platforms. And so, and you can do that, you can create that with Blazor. So you can create a Blazor application and then you host it inside a web view on your desktop application. And so this should be possible to build for both Windows and Mac. It's not possible to build for Linux, but MAUI seems to be extensible, and that so it's possible that somebody will release a Linux kind of adapter for it that will mean you can build for Linux as well. I don't know how many people stream from Linux. I suspect a few coder streams go from Linux, but I don't know for sure. So we got streambadger.winui3 here. So I was doing some learning and I watched some of the build videos about MAUI and all this sort of stuff over the weekend. And so there's some interesting bits in here. So we've got, at the moment, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 applications. So this Stream Badger overlay, that's a pure CSS, pure Blazor application. It's got kind of, it's got its host and everything. So this will run just in the browser. That's fine. And what we want that for is you're going to create an overlay, a browser source in OBS or whatever you're using, and then you just point it at the Stream Badger overlay server. So that runs on a TCP port on your machine. And then you've got the actual UI for the application, which is a MAUI application. And so what we've got at the moment is you've got Stream Badger here, and you can see in Stream Badger there's an Android folder, and there's an iOS folder, and there's a Mac Catalyst folder. And so that's, and if we look at the CS proj file for this, you've got target frameworks, Net6 iOS, Net6 Android, and Net6 Mac Catalyst. And so there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that's building for, so you have one project, because with Xamarin, as I understood it, you had a kind of shared project which had most of your stuff in your Xamarin Forms and all this sort of thing. And then you would have an iOS project and an Android project and a Mac project to build for the different platforms. And Maui, they've managed to get it all into one project, except at the moment, so in Preview 4, the WinUI stuff, the Windows build, has gone into a separate project here. But all these things are just linked through to the Stream Badger thing there. But a subsequent preview release, they're going to clean this up, and so all of this will just be in a single project. So the WinUI stuff will be in its own project, will be in the same project as the other things. And then you've got this package thing here, which is a packaging project to bundle the thing up as a MSIX or something, and then you can deploy that. But that, they said they wanted to get rid of that as well. So this will come down to just Stream Badger, streambadger.overlay, and then there's this shared thing for types which are used by overlay and the desktop application. So we're putting stuff in there. So yes, and on Thursday I was having fun with the login process. So I'm just going to run this, because when I was mucking about with it at the weekend, I accidentally fixed it, which was weird. And I'm just going to see if I've still fixed it and if it's working properly now. Right, so here's the Stream Badger. This is my WinUI thing. This is subject to change. I've got to clean all this stuff here up. So if I now turn on the overlay on here and just refresh that, then I should, if I click, there you go, boom, appears on the screen, and then it goes away again, and I can do it from my Stream Deck as well. And if I do, oh hi Mark, and that plays sounds at the same time, and then it goes away again. Yay! So it's kind of working at the moment. But we've got this connect with Twitch thing here, and then if I go into Stream Badger pages, where is it? Services. Thank you, Jade. Code with Jade. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get it polished up and everything. This is not, I'm not rushing this, but what I'm really hoping to do is around the time of the full .NET 6, or whenever there's a go live license for .NET 6, because Microsoft, they release previews and they kind of go, don't use this in production, don't use this in production, don't use this in production, no, 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 no. This is all on GitHub, so if someone wants to grab it and build it and run it locally, then they can. But whenever Microsoft kind of go, all right, we're in the final stretches of .NET 6 previews, you can go live with this stuff, then I want to actually publish this and have it, people can download it, and I've got streambadger.com, so I can create a site for it using GitHub pages or whatever. But yeah, so in here we've got our Twitch bot, right? Everything's red and squiggly at the moment because I've got ReSharper installed, the .NET C# language plugin for Visual Studio, and it is going absolutely bonkers. So we've got unauthenticated here. And then let's so Twitch auth static has got an access token thing here. So then this becomes Twitch auth static dot access token. And then we're going to go here. I am behind an overlay fog wall. Let's refresh that. Let's just go away. There we go. Yes, when I stop the application, then the Blazor thing crashes and I need to do something about that. So then let's run this again. We can drag this down, and we can do connect with Twitch. And that gives us this access token here. Okay. And that should have connected to the chat. And so then I should be able to go bang Perry in the chat. And it does not work. Oh no, there we go. The remote party closed the WebSocket connection without completing the close handshake. Right, so it's unhappy again. So I had a Twitch 8, was that the one? So here's what's actually happening under the covers there. Okay. The first version of this, because it was running in the browser, it could just redirect to Twitch, do the OAuth login thing, and then bounce back again. But now it's running in a standalone application. And so you do not want, if my standalone application displays a page from Twitch, which it totally can because it's just a web view, but there's no address bar, there's nothing to say, hey, this is actually Twitch, this is actually the Twitch website. I could have done a copy paste of the HTML and CSS from the Twitch website. I'll show you how easy that is to do actually. So a couple of years ago at NDC Oslo, during the party they said, can you put together silly talks? And I said, I did a thing making a joke about have I been pwned, but it was have I been cloned? And I was just kind of going to say there's I've launching Have I Been Cloned, and Amy Kaepernick, Amy Capers, said, why don't you do the website? And I was kind of like, this was about 10 minutes before the application, before the thing started. And I was going, I haven't got time to do that. And she went, yeah, you have. You just download the page as HTML and then you upload it to your thing and you change it a bit. So that's what we did. We downloaded Have I Been Pwned and just changed a very few things, like cloned humans, cloned sheep, evil doppelgangers, and one angry Australian. And yeah, and we it's on Netlify, I think, or something like that. But yes. So anyway, I could do that with Twitch, and I could put that in my application, and then you'd come along and you go, oh, it's the Twitch thing, and then you put in your username and your password, and I send them to a database, and then I sell it on the dark web. So you don't do that. So what you do is you open the actual browser, the user's default browser, onto a page, and then in the background you ping, so it's going to this streambadger.com, and then in the background you ping the thing and say, hey, give me the code for this session ID that I've given you. And so if I run this, okay, and you can see here that for some reason the login authentication is failing, and I don't know why. So if I go to, let's bring this down here. If I go to railway.app, so the login thing is running on Railway. So I've got this Stream Badger thing here, and I've got this deployment. And so here are all my logs from this. So let's stop this. So that's saying 44F6D, and if I run this again, that should trigger another one. So that's doing 14FD277. So if I go to the Redis for this, and we've got 14FD277. So this is what's been put into Redis for that code there. But my logs, see this on-auth callback thing here, that should be getting called every time as well. And why is that? So authenticating with Twitch, Twitch was challenged, OAuth callback is happening there, but it's not happening on any subsequent occasions. Let's set a breakpoint on this. So that is an access token. Login authentication failed, and we don't know why. Try taking that out. Nope, that's still not working. I'm going to try something here. So let's go to here and go into application, ASP.NET Core cookies, and we'll delete that, and we'll delete that. And then let's run this again. Interesting. So there's the thing. It works once. and then it doesn't work again. Shout out in the chat if you've got any idea why it would work once and then not work subsequently. Because if I now put something in the chat, then that appears over here in this thing. But if I now run this one more time, nope, that works okay as well. This server is rather new. All right, so then if we stop that and we go to here and we go to TwitchBot, and we can say _client dot on log. Let's grab that and we'll put that down here, except we'll make that debug.writeLine system.diagnostics.debug. And then we can say _client.onLog plus equals on log. And that should put all the log output from there into the debug output in Visual Studio. Okay, so we're going to connect with Twitch. And we've got an access token. And let's just hit F5. And it's worked. Do. So now, if I go bang Perry, see, we get a message received comes in here. And if I press F5, let's just do that again and see what's going on. Perry. So F10, image is not null. And then, yeah, that's wrong. That's not what we want. So in our startup here, TwitchBot, where are you? Oh yes, we put it in there because we couldn't get a hosted service running in the Maui application. Okay, so that TwitchBot's there. So that does that. And then that goes to control bus.add async. And then in our overlay, in the overlay page, we've got control buses in there. All right, so let's get rid of all our breakpoints. Yep. And then we're going to stick that in there. And then in our control bus, we're going to set a breakpoint on there. And then in our overlay page, we're going to set a breakpoint on there. And then we're going to run this again. Connect with Twitch, do the thing, go to here, type the Perry. So there we go, we create a new toggle image and add it to the control bus. But the control bus isn't doing anything. So connect with Twitch, logged in, do the Perry, write the thing, why is that, where is that even coming from? Oh, that's because it's the thing there. So that's... I'm not very bright. Delete all breakpoints. Yeah. What I'll do is I'm going to turn the overlay back on. And then I'm going to do Perry. And then I'm going to press F5. And then I'm going to do Perry again. And there he goes. Yay! We got it back on. And I can turn him off from there. And you can go, oh, hi, Mark. Nope.
Oh,
and then
hi, Mark.
He pops up. And you can go bang, boom. And that pops up as well. And there we go. You see, it works. You can make things happen by typing in the chat. which is what we were aiming for. Okay, now. That's all well and good. What I want to do is turn off the overlay thing there. So everything's working well. I need to figure out what's going on with my login stuff, but I can do that separately. I think it's basically a matter of it's going to be in here somewhere. Stream Badger login startup. Yes, I made a Discord. So you can join the School of Grok Discord, and you can chat there, and there's an images channel which no one's posted anything in yet, but if there's an image that you would like to be able to pop up over the stream, then you can post it in the images channel on the Discord, and then the next stream I will add it in unless it's rude, in which case I won't. So in here there's an options.force verify, which I don't think we want. Save tokens, whether access and refresh tokens should be stored in the authentication properties after a successful authorization. I seem to have set that to true. Sign-in scheme, return URL parameter, validate, don't want that. So yeah, I think what it basically wants here is I don't know what it wants. I have no idea. There's got to be some way to get it to log out. So to say, you know what, let's trash the cookie when we hit a certain page. So when you go to the login page, it'll trash the cookie and then send you somewhere else, and then that'll do something. But we'll worry about that another time, because what I want to do today is muck about with Stream Badger, and I'm going to muck about in the overlay side of things to start off with, because what we've got here is this overlay page. It's really complicated. We've got so if you look up at the source here, we've got for each var image in images and for each var sound in sounds. And then we have an audio thing here, which has got the class OB image and the image style and the image name and all this sort of stuff. And then down here, it's quite complicated doing what it wants to do, because it's kind of, images can have sounds attached to them and stuff. And so what I want to do is, in this image thing here, I'm going to create a separate control. So we're going to create add razor component overlay image. Okay, and then in here we're going to have a prop image model image like that, And we're going to put the parameter attribute on there like so. Okay, we're going to take that out. Going to close all but this and then open overlay up again. And I'm going to grab that. I'm going to put that in here like this. And then this is going to be image.name and image.style like so, because those things should be on there. Name, file path, string and sound. Okay, and then in overlay, we're just going to put in overlay image, image equals at image, like so. Okay. And this should work. All right, so let's refresh that and turn it back on and then do this. And yep, that still works. So that's using that component thing now. Just stop. So there was a bunch of stuff in the toggle image stuff here to say if we get the image from the name, then we can add it into there. What we can then do is we can put this stuff here, can be moved into that overlay image code there. So we can add in here, override on after render async or on initialized async. And then we can put some of this code in here. Actually, we could probably put quite a lot of this stuff in here. So yeah, no, let's change this. So this is going to become a list of string. And then I'm just going to change this. And in here, we're going to have string name. Okay. And then we're going to have public image model image get set. Okay. And then in here, we're going to grab this and we're going to put this in here. And we're just going to do at if image is not null. So we're going to make sure that that works. And then we don't need that. I'm going to make that async like that. we're going to inject, so we're going to at inject image store like that. So then that's good. And then we're going to have a public sound model sound like this. And we're going to inject sound store. Okay. And I don't think we need to call this. I think this is just, let's navigate to the source code. So yeah, we don't need to call the base on this one. So we can just get rid of that. Okay. And then we've got the audio thing up here. So let's create another component. So we're going to add another Razor component and we're going to call it overlay sound. Okay. And we're going to do the same sort of thing here. So we're going to do prop string name. And that's going to be a parameter. And then we're going to override on initialized async. Okay, and we're going to at inject sound store like that. And we're going to do public sound model sound like that. And then we're going to do a similar thing. So in overlay, sounds to play, do that there, await js.invoke async. So we need to grab the JS runtime here as well. And so we're going to say sound equals await sound store dot get sound name. Like that. And then here we're going to say if sound is not null, and go back to here, no overlay, and we want this. Sound.name, and that's going to be sound.name.trim start like that. And then sounds to play, do that. And it's this on after render here. So we can do this, and then we can go into here, and we can put this in. And we can just change this to if sound is null, return, because we don't want to do anything there. And then that's going to become sound.name like that. So we don't care about first render in that instance. And then we want this JS invocable like that. And somewhere in here, so in here, I think, there we go. So we've got this play sound. Element is doing this. So that's the audio element there that we're using. We're going to say when it's finished, invoke this on sound ended thing here. And then we're going to say element.play, and that can go away. So, let's take a look. So, Blazor component events. Blazor University. Haven't been here before. Learn the new .NET SPA framework from Microsoft. So, parameter event callback something of T. The int do. And then we can do that await thing there. And then we can, okay. Right. So, in our sound thing here, we can have a parameter public event callback on sound like that. Let's just call it ended because that's nice and simple. And so then we can get the callback from here to do this. And we can say if ended is not null, ended dot invoke async sound dot name. Oh, it's a struct. Okay, so we don't need to check see whether it's null or not. Okay, so that gives us an ended thing here. So then in overlay image.razor, I'm going to put another one of those as well. So parameter and public event callback string ended. Like that, because the images that are displayed with a sound, the idea is that the image only stays for as long as the sound is there, and then it goes away again. So then in here we can say if sound is not null, if image dot sound is length greater than 0, like so, then we can just say overlay sound name equals image dot sound and ended equals on sound ended. And let's jump back to here. And then we can say private async task on sound ended is going to come back to here. And then we can say ended await ended dot invoke async image dot name. So that's going to trickle through from there. Meanwhile, in the overlay thing here, we're going to change this, so that's just a list of string as well. And then this can become overlay sound name equals sound and ended equals on sound ended. And then in here we can say public async task on sound ended string name, and then we can just do underscore sounds dot remove name. You can go away because we're not in there. And then we can await invoke async state has changed there like that. Right. So then let's do something super funky and we'll just make images and sounds that can go away there like that. Then we shouldn't need that, and we shouldn't need that. And we shouldn't need that anymore. We still want clear all. Here we just want to do sounds.add play.name. And we can get rid of that. And toggle image, we can say if underscore images dot contains toggle dot name underscore images dot remove toggle dot name, else like that. See, this really, it makes things so much cleaner and tidier, and keeps code in the place where it's supposed to be, so that your application stays nice and clean. It's kind of component-based stuff. And then here we can say ended equals at on image ended, like so. And then that's basically just going to come into here, because we want to remove them from the list. And we can just remove it from images like that. So if the sound comes through here, it'll create the sound item there. And the overlay sound does that, set sound there, which should then mean that that renders, and then on after render we can call the invoke async. Like that. All right, let's see what happens. Right, refresh the overlay and show it, and Perry. Bad things have happened. Perry. Perry. Oh, I haven't invoked the state has changed. You have to do this. So Blazor doesn't use things like observable collection and so on. So there's no property changed thing. So every time you change state, you basically say, hey, I've changed stuff, you need to re-render the page. Which it makes things much smoother, because if you have sort of property change, when you're doing stuff in WPF, for example, you've got a whole bunch of properties with property changed. Now let's say that I want to update 15 things. So I want to update 15 properties in WPF with property changed events. Every time I change one of those properties, it will redraw the UI immediately while I'm doing that. The way Blazor's working, because there's a thing running on the server, and then there's a WebSocket, and it's sending DOM updates over the WebSocket. And so you don't want to be going update the DOM and then change this property, update the DOM. So this state has changed thing here, where you can basically go, right, I'm going to change 15 properties, and then I will say state has changed. And that allows Blazor to come up with a really kind of compact and efficient DOM update, and just send it in one go. So you have a lot more control here. But if you forget to put it in, then it doesn't really make, it doesn't help particularly. Okay, so let's run this again. Okay, and then we can refresh the overlay like that, and then we can hit Perry, and bad things have happened. I'm going to turn the overlay off. Cannot access a disposed object. What was disposed? Get sound. So overlay image. Let's set a breakpoint there. And then refresh and turn that on and do that. Where's my call stack? See, that shouldn't be happening there. So that can go away. We don't need that. which means we don't need that either. So let's set a breakpoint there. Can I set a breakpoint in the markup here? No, let's just refresh and show that and hit Perry. Right, so image sound is null. And yet somehow that's come through here. Because I need to put an @ on my if, like that. There we go. Right. Okay, so then we can do that. And that's working. And then that makes it go away again. So let's go back to overlay. Let's do oh hi Mark.
Oh hi Mark.
That seemed to work. That definitely seemed to work. So then we just go back to here and we say do, and let's just see if that callback is actually firing, and then
oh hi Mark.
Yes, it is. And that gets rid of the image. Fantastic. Oh, that's really nice. Oh, I'm super happy. Half the room's sodded off because it went past 8 o'clock or something. But no, that's really, really nice. So yeah, you can close down. But yeah, now basically, I think I can take image store and sound store and the JS runtime, and I can take that out of there as well. So we want the control bus. That's fine. Let's rename it the way ReSharper wants it renamed, because that is, I think that's going to be like private read only in the generated code, so we can just get rid of that. But yeah, so that's massively simplified the code here. And so theoretically what you could do here is we could move that and that, so this could be split into two controls. Would that give us, would that do much for us? So play sound, you can have toggle image would go into its own thing, and toggle sound. I want to do that. I want to do that. So we're going to create another Razor component, and we're going to call it overlay images. Okay. And then from overlay, we can bring in these things here. And then we can have our hash set images like that. And then we can bring in our code here. Get rid of play sound. And then in here, we can bring in this code here and put it up there. And we can bring in on image ended. And we can put that in here as well. So then that takes care of images. And then we can have another Razor component overlay sounds. And then we can grab these things again. Get rid of layout. We don't need layout because it's just a component. And we can grab that and put that in here. And we can grab all of that and put that in here as well. And we can take out toggle image. And we can take out on image ended and get rid of that there. And we just want to bring in the markup here, like that. So this is now focused entirely on sounds. This is now focused entirely on images. And in overlay.razor, which is our kind of parent page, we can actually just have overlay images and overlay sounds. And we can get rid of all of that. So that's broken things down into kind of nice, neatly factored, neatly self-contained components, which is what we want. And then if I run this again, and go back to here and refresh and show, and then I hit Perry, and Perry shows up, and I can make Perry go away again like that. And I can do oh hi Mark,
hi,
and
Mark.
it plays the sound and then it goes away again. And I'm not going to do the sounds thing because I don't want to. And then we've got sorry, there's nothing at this address when I do add an image. And let's turn that off again. Okay. I'm super happy with that. That's made life much, much neater in here. So we've got our overlay razor, OB image position is absolute. So that can go, we can say, add new item, style sheet, and if we call that overlay image.razor.css, this now becomes linked to just the image thing there, which is what we want. Excellent, 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 excellent. So yeah, if you're not familiar with Blazor, and actually in .NET Core, in ASP.NET Core 6, this is happening for just standard Razor views and MVC views. If you create a CSS file and call it overlay.razor.css, or in an MVC application, kind of index.cshtml.css, that CSS gets bound specifically to that, either that component or that page. And so you can embed kind of custom CSS with each image, which is really nice, because that will then go in anywhere it needs to be used. So if this overlay image was used, this component was used in another page, it would still bring this very important bit of CSS with it. So yeah. Okay. Where's my PowerShell? And then, no, not you. Let's go to /sandbox stream badger. And we'll do git add dot -a, git commit -m, refactored overlay into components, and then we'll do git push, and so that's gone up to the Stream Badger repository on GitHub. We can find that with a command in the chat. And yeah, okay, so the next thing to look at is the pages for bringing in new images and new sounds. But it's 8:20, and I'm melting because it's really, really, really hot in this room. And so I'm going to call it for tonight. Because I'm very happy with what I've achieved there. I'm going to do some investigating into what's going on with the authentication, and then fix that on Thursday, and then do the add image page and the add sound page. And the other thing we're going to do with add sound is make it possible to play the sound to hear how loud it is, and then set the volume, possibly using a lovely slider, which will be fun. So yeah, that's what we're going to do, and that will be neat. Yes, it will. But for today, that's it. It's done. If you want to go and check it out on the GitHub, then go for it. Yeah, that was fun, and that was mostly working stuff, which makes a huge change from Thursday. Thursday was very frustrating. So yeah, I will be back here on Thursday at 7 p.m. UK time, which is 6 p.m. UTC. So then map that to wherever you are in your summer times, or your daylight savings, or your winter times, whatever it might be. I'm just about to dive into Twitch and export last week's streams to YouTube, so those will be available on YouTube. If you're interested in any of this stuff, please do join the Discord and chat with me in there about things. Other than that, thank you very much, everybody, for stopping by and spending time with me. It's really appreciated, and I will hope to see you all again on Thursday evening. Cheers. Bye.